What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Just back again with another video. This is your one-stop shop for anime and manga. Let's get into it. I want to start by saying thank you to everyone subscribing. If you're new here, you like my content, you like what I'm doing, consider subscribing, leaving a like, hit the button to post another video. Also follow me on Twitter. Links will be in the description. That's right, it's that time. We are going to do my July manga haul. I didn't pick up too much this month again. I've been trying to tone it down a little bit just because I'm thinking of how I'm going to lay out my shelves. And I do have a manga collection video in the works, so I think I'm going to set that up. Finally actually set up my shelves the way I want them to and let y'all see what I got in my collection thus far. But that is a story for another video. Let's get into my July manga haul. The first thing I picked up was Volume 2 of the Initial D Omnibus. Here's Volume 2 of Initial D. The story follows the main character who knows absolutely nothing about street racing, but eventually he grows to love the sport. After I read Volume 1, I had to go and start collecting series because honestly, I don't really know too much about street racing myself, so I can really relate with the main character. But honestly, this series just really took me by storm. I really can't see how a lot of people really enjoy the series. Like, before this series was reprinted, it was a lot of people's holy grails because obviously it was out of print for so long. But now that Kodansha went ahead and started releasing the omnibus, these are 2-in-1s, and the quality is very nice. I do like it. I like how the colors specifically. I know Volume 3 is going to be like a nice, like, bright green. The first one is a nice, like, deep red. Here's a nice vibrant blue. I like the way the covers and the colors are looking up on the shelf. And the story itself is so good. I mean, it's real simple. Like, it definitely has like the 90s, early 2000s feel. But honestly, I think anyone can really just grow to love this series because it really just takes its time to not only just educate you about street racing, but it's like even if you know nothing about it, so does the main character. So you're both going on the journey to basically fall in love with the sport. The next volume I picked up was Volume 15 of Soul Eater, the Perfect Edition. Soul Eater follows the students of the Death Weapon Meister Academy and their quest to create the Death Scythe, worthy of being wielded by the Shinigami. To do this, their weapon partner must consume souls of 99 wicked humans and 1 witch. Now, I know I say this basically every time I pick up one of these volumes. I know absolutely nothing about Soul Eater. I did not watch the anime. I have not read the manga yet. I am waiting until I collect all of the Perfect Editions so that I can basically just binge all of Soul Eater. So I'm going to binge Fire Force first, then I'm going to read Soul Eater because I know Fire Force is the prequel to Soul Eater. So I'm going to do it like that and see like what connections I can make once I do finally read Soul Eater. I know it's gonna take me a while, but I do think that we're almost done. Right now, this is Volume 15, and I think the Perfect Editions are going to finish on Volume 17. So yeah, I think Soul Eater finishes at Volume 17, and Fire Force I think finishes around, I forget what the last volume is, but I think the last volume comes out in September or October, something like that. So more or less, I pretty much should be done with both Fire Force and Soul Eater by like the end of this year, and then most likely probably by the start of January 2025, I'm just going to start reading both of them, and well, Fire Force then Soul Eater, and I'm going to completely fall in love with the series. I know I love Fire Force, and I've heard nothing but amazing things about Soul Eater. I heard nothing, even the anime, that a lot of people have like mixed feelings about it. From what I can tell, from what people have told me, the first season of the anime is amazing, and I think that's like the only part that's actually canon. I might be wrong about that, but I cannot wait to actually try and read Soul Eater because I know I'm going to enjoy it. I love Fire Force. I love the art style. I've been looking through it every now and then, and I really do think it looks good. The next thing I picked up was one of my favorite manhwas, and that's Omnis Reader's Viewpoint Volume 3. The main character of Omnis Reader's Viewpoint is thrown into a world where the light novel he was reading comes to life, and now he has to maneuver through the scenarios. I'll be honest, I am really enjoying Omnis Reader. I read it a little bit back in the day when it first released. I was reading it online. I stopped for a little bit because I wanted just to wait. I was reading a whole bunch of stuff at the time, so I just put it on a quick pause. And now that the physical volumes are coming out, I'm reading them as I get the physical releases. And this story is by far, it's amazing. It's hard to describe the story if you're not reading it. So more or less, the way I like to describe it to people, it's kind of like isekai slash saw, because so the main character, he gets basically the real world gets transformed into the world of the light novel that he was reading. So he was the only reader of this light novel for I think the last couple of years, and because of that, the author of the light novel basically said, okay, we're gonna turn the world into, and we don't even know how that happened, but we're gonna turn the world into the light novel world, and your specific power is that you know all of the details, you know all of the characters, you know all the scenarios, because he's the one person who read everything. So he's trying to basically maneuver through the different tasks and just trying to survive and like, get to the end of the story. At the same time, slight things are a little bit off because now he obviously he wasn't in the original light novel that he was reading, so he's doing things that are, I guess, changing the story slightly, and he's coming to realize like I gotta slow down because eventually if I do too much, I'm gonna change so much of the story. I'm not gonna know what's going to happen. That's like the gist of the story. Is really, like I said, it's really hard to like really describe the story itself. The one thing I do recommend to people is definitely just try reading Volume 1. It's on the Webtoon app if you want to read it. Read Volume 1. If you like it, you're gonna probably enjoy the series. If not, then this one's not for you. Now, I'd say it's one of my favorite manhwas. I haven't read too many, but it's, I guess, a lot of people like to say these are one of the generic manhwas that everyone likes. Is like this one not Soul Eater, Solo Leveling, and I think Tower of God is like the other manhwa that everyone is just, those like the generic ones that everyone likes, but they are good. So I do enjoy Omnis Reader. I do recommend it to a lot of different people because it's a nice different take on the story. I really haven't seen something quite as like, I guess, quite as like Omnis Reader, because somehow it's unique, even though it does follow a lot of like the typical tropes that you see in a lot of manga and manhwa. But I don't know, the story itself, it's good enough. And right now I'm on volume 3. I don't know how many volumes are going to be with this series, but I really think y'all gotta pick this up because it really is good. The next thing I picked up was Mashal, Magic and Muscles volume 16. Mashal, Magic and Muscles follows Mash Burndead, who was born without magic, and he wants to be the divine visionary so he can change the laws and have his existence be accepted. I gotta say, I really do love this series. It's so good because I just like what it is. It's just jokes. And I really normally don't like funny series, but it's just jokes. It doesn't take itself too seriously. Well, it's not too. It doesn't take itself seriously at all, and it's just an enjoyable, like, I guess you could say, parody on Harry Potter. That's really how you can put it. Now, Mashal, he's born without magic. Obviously, everyone knows that. And in this world, all of the babies that are born without magic, they are killed instantly. He was one of the lucky ones. He was basically, I guess, escaped. His stepfather found him, raised him, and said, "Listen, since you don't have magic, you're going to lift weights and get stronger." So Mash is freakishly strong because he's been lifting weights all his life, and he just wants to become the divine visionary. And the divine visionary is basically the person who gets to like create laws in this world, and the only way to do that is to graduate basically their version of Hogwarts. So he's trying to do all that, and it's just an insane just battle action shonen because he's trying to, you would think that him just going to school, I'm gonna get good grades and become the divine visionary, but a lot of stuff happens in between, and he is just a jokester. I mean, he really does not take himself seriously. The series itself is almost like just a whole gag series. It's a nice shonen series. A lot of people like to say it's One Punch Man meets Harry Potter. I see where you can get those comparisons from because it really is just a parody on Harry Potter. And the One Punch Man aspect of it, yeah, I do see it because, well, obviously One Punch Man is an amazing battle action shonen that is a little more comedic. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and so is MASH. And I think MASH was going to end in, I think, 18 or 19 volumes, one of those two. So we're almost done with the series here. And it was one of my favorite series when I was reading it. I actually was sad when it finished on the Shonen Jump app because I've read all this already. I was reading it weekly when it came out. And I did watch the anime. I highly recommend the anime. It's so good. Now, we're almost done with this, and I'm going to be a little bit sad because probably when I pick up the rest of MASH, I think I'm just going to give it a reread because it's been a while since I read the series. Yeah, I haven't read the series since like the last chapter dropped, so I've been watching the anime, but I think I want to pick up the series again just to give it a little once over, make sure keep my mind refreshed. The last thing I picked up was one of my favorite series of all time, and that is Volume 3 of Call of the Night. Call of the Night follows Ko, who wants to give up his human life to become a vampire. little does he know, in order to do that, he has to seduce the vampire that wants nothing to do with him. So I picked up volume 3 of Call the Night, and this is another series that I did read it in its completion, and honestly, I fell in love with this series. It's my top 3. It's this, Wotakoi, and Bakuman. Those are the top 3 most amazing manga I've ever read. And I don't know what it is. Call the Night it's weird. Like, it's a slice of life shonen rom-com. Like, it has a little bit of everything in it. You know, fantasy with the vampire stuff. So basically, Ko just wants to give up his life. He needs to try and seduce this vampire. And this vampire does not want to be seduced. He does not want to turn anyone into a vampire. So he's there trying to make her fall in love. And it's just a whole back and forth. It's not as funny as you would think, like that synopsis kind of sounds. There's a lot of like emotional moments, there's a lot of tough moments, but nothing too crazy, obviously, because it's just, you know, regular Viz shonen series. But I don't know, like slice of life, like the scenery was just beautiful. The story between Ko and the vampire was just amazing. I really did enjoy just their relationship, their build from chapter 1 all the way to the end. And I don't know, Call the Night is one of those series that I guess maybe it just hit home a little bit different for me. Maybe because I was reading it like in the middle of the night, and when I basically like had insomnia at that point. That could be it, because that's how Ko actually runs into the vampire. He just likes being outside. He's, I think, a middle schooler, I think he's like in middle school, and he just likes being outside in the middle of the night because he loves the way the city looks at night, and that's how he runs in to the vampire, and then his whole life is changed after that. This is gonna be a series that I'm going to slowly pick up every now and then. I'm gonna slowly pick up like a volume here and there, because I think it's not done yet. I think it's gonna end at 20 volumes, and I think it's like 16, 17 right now that's out. So I'm going to be getting it slowly, and honestly, I can't wait to just finish this in my collection, because this is honestly my top 3. This, Wotakoi, Bakuman, they are the best series I've ever read. And this one, if you take any of these series, if you ever want to try any of them, I highly recommend this. It's on the Viz Manga app, so you can just try it there, and just let me know if y'all like it, because is it just me, like, did it just like hit me a little bit different, or like is this like the general consensus of everyone where it's just overall good? So that's everything I picked up in the month of July. I know it was a little bit short. I am sorry about that. I didn't pick up too much this month because I'm trying to tone it down a little bit with my manga hauls, just so for my shelf's sake. I'm trying to organize it properly and getting a whole bunch, and then trying to like find out the space. I'm trying to work out the logistics, but a manga collection video is going to be coming out soon, because I think it's time. I haven't done one in about 6 or 7 months, so I think it's time to show y'all how much my collection has grown since then. And I hope you guys enjoy that video when it comes out, so that stay tuned, because that one is in the works. So that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for making it this far, and let me know down in the comments what are some things that you're currently collecting, or what are some things that you're currently reading right now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you again. If you're new here, you like my content, you like what I'm doing, consider subscribing, leaving a like, and the bell so you don't post no video. Also follow me on Twitter. Links will be in the description. This is your boy Just. I'm off this.